What up, internet world out there? It's your boy Jermaine back with another video. Today's video is gonna be a Q&A. I'm just amazed with this weather. Yesterday I was burning up. Today I got a jacket on and I have two different shirts on and I'm trying to stay cool. So let's just jump right into this Q&A. I haven't did a Q&A in a while. I see a lot of questions about this whole African trip, and let's just talk about it really fast. One of the questions or comments that I see most is where are you going, and also recommendations on places to go. Now guys, I do want to point out, I do want to say this, I'm totally a budget backpack traveler, and there is my phone, I'm dropping it. And when I planned this trip, the reason why I even came to South Africa is because I found a super cheap flight going to Namibia from Germany. So I went from Morocco to Germany just to take that flight and then come down here. So there are other countries on the list. As of now, I'm kind of just going with the flow, going whatever way that just makes the most sense. Mozambique, there is a $50 visa. However, I don't mind paying $50 for the visa, but the only problem I'm running into is I don't want to pay $50 for a visa and only be there for 5 days. If I, pay $50 for a visa, at least I want to stay there for, I don't know, at least 2 weeks or 10 days or something like that. So that's definitely one thing that I'm still planning and trying to figure out along the way. Things sort of change and they go with the flow. Like I didn't exactly plan to come this far on this trip, so now I'm in this region of the world, so things have just switched up. Things have definitely switched up on me. Now, in one of the Johannesburg videos, I've noticed in the comments that a lot of people from Johannesburg were telling me that, look, Jermaine, you stayed in the absolute worst area. Why did you stay at, why did you stay at that hostel? Why did you stay in this area? The only reason I actually picked that hostel because I heard rumors from a lot of different people that the Curiosity hostel was rated one of the best hostels in the world. Now I'm scratching my head when I hear that, because I've definitely been to a lot of hostels this year just around the world, and I must admit that I don't think this one would be nowhere near the top. Maybe they're talking about for atmosphere, maybe they're talking about for, I don't exactly get what they're talking about, but I would have to say that this is probably not anywhere near like the best in the world. I'd have to say, I mean, gosh, I've stayed in so many other places in Europe that were so much better than this place. And once again, I've stayed at places literally everywhere that was so much better than this place. The reason why I did pick it is because it was #1 on Hostel World. I know I was supposed to be using hostel bookers on this trip, but I was still using the Hostel World. And it had really good reviews. A lot of people said really good things about it, so that's why I decided to go and stay at the Curiosity. If you guys are curious about why I stayed at Curiosity, yeah, I just thought. And I also had no idea that that was one of the worst neighborhoods in Joburg. I definitely noticed, like, just driving around Joburg, that so many other places were so much nicer than the place that I was staying. But once again, this is my first trip to Joburg, and I was just kind of going with the flow and just staying along the backpacker route. Talking about the backpacker route, this brings up another question that I've saw quite a bit. What's up with the girls? What's up with the girls? Like, why are there only white girls in your videos? Guys, I was actually kind of feeling a little bad about this, because whenever I look at my videos, it's like, yeah, it's just a whole bunch of Caucasian girls, and I'm in Africa, so what's up, Jermaine? Like, where are the black women at? Well, believe it or not, I've tried to talk to a handful of black women. It sort of works. It kind of works very easy staying in a hostel, because I typically meet other people who are traveling, and they have the same free time. They have this same happy-go-lucky spirit to them. So it's really easy to hang out with other travelers, and it's really easy to hang out with other backpackers. Now, on the flip side, meeting locals is really nice, and meeting locals is a really good way to go about traveling, especially experiencing a new place. But the problem I find with meeting locals is locals typically don't have the same availability. If I'm traveling and staying at a hostel, chances are if I meet other people, they don't have everything planned up. Unlike a local, maybe a local has to, go to work. Maybe a local has to do this or do that. So locals can tend to be not as easy to hang out with sometimes. I mean, of course, you're gonna meet those locals some places that just have all the free time in the world and they can hang out and chill. But for me, I really haven't met like any locals. I was talking to someone in Windhoek, and you know, this girl was really, really cool to hang out with, but at the same time she had a job, so she, you know, she'd have to, you know, go, and she couldn't stay out late. And it's just really different when you talk to locals. They're gonna show you a different perspective, but it's not like, you know, running around and, you know, meeting other travelers. And yeah, that's pretty much, it's just really easy to meet other backpackers when I'm traveling. And for the most part, I don't typically meet a lot of black people traveling and backpacking and staying in hostels. I just don't typically meet a lot of like black people doing this, and mainly I typically meet more white people doing this sort of thing. So that kind of explains why I'm always hanging out with like white chicks, because yeah, I can't find any black girls that want to hang out with me. I mean, maybe once I get back to the Bay Area, maybe that'll change, or maybe it'll just be the same that it was when I was back in the Bay before this trip, you know? No one wants to hang out with me, but then I come to freaking Africa and like I'm just having a blast. Like I got people to hang out with constantly. Not bad, but every day is not like this in my life if you don't personally know me. Now, another question I receive quite a bit is, how expensive is South Africa? South Africa is definitely no, it's no Switzerland. It's definitely no Norway. Prices in South Africa really remind me of prices in Thailand. Now, some things can slightly be more expensive. Like, okay, first off, internet. Oh my gosh. I've literally spent so much money on internet. I've never ever been to any country ever in the world and spent as much as I, you know, have spent on internet. Now, I will say I am, you know, making YouTube videos and uploading videos, and I definitely use a whole lot more gigabytes than your average consumer. But I must admit that, yeah, the internet here is, you know, for your phone, like for the mobile hotspot, it can be pretty dang expensive. I was kind of thinking that the internet would really suck at different like hostels and hotels that I would stay at, but for the most part, I've actually found some really good internet speeds, some pretty fast internet speeds, and I'm actually able to just like upload videos just straight from the computer and not, you know, go through the wireless network and pay money for the wireless service. So that's one thing that is kind of expensive, but like staying in places like hostels and you know, getting really awesome meals and also Uber rides. I've taken so many Uber rides on this trip. Uber rides are very inexpensive. So, I mean, for example, in San Francisco, maybe I would pay like $30 to get from the airport to downtown. Here, that's about maybe $12 or $14. So, another example, let's say a private room in a hostel could run you about $30 to $40 a night. Unlike, you know, places like in Europe where you would pay like $30-40 a night just for a dorm. So a lot of things are much cheaper. If you go to more local places, this is something that I really haven't done on this trip, but if you go to more local places, definitely prices will be cheaper. Myself, I've been going to a lot of vegan places, and vegan places are like, they're just more expensive because it's trendy. And yeah, that's just avoid the trendy places if you want to come to South Africa and save money. Another question, what are my favorite places in South Africa? Guys, I really like Cape Town a lot, but the problem with Cape Town is that, you know, there's a struggle behind Cape Town, and just me going there, like, I can see the struggle. Well, let me take that back. I can't see the struggle, but I can feel the struggle. So that's why I sort of really like Cape Town, but at the same time I feel really bad and I feel very guilty about going to Cape Town. I've definitely heard locals say that Cape Town is for people like you. Definitely have heard locals say this, and what they mean by that is, you know, people that used to live in Cape Town can't live there anymore because now they want it for tourism, and they want people like me to come around and spend, not people like me, but, you know, foreigners, that sort of thing. So when I hear things like that about Cape Town, it kind of makes me have this negative like vibe about Cape Town. But at the same time, if I don't think about these negative vibes and don't think about what I've hear from locals, Cape Town is a wonderful, wonderful place. It really reminds me of San Francisco a lot. It's very windy, it's very bright and beautiful in the daytime. What an amazing place. Like, I love Cape Town, but that's not my favorite place in South Africa. I would have to say Durban is probably my favorite place in South Africa. Now, Durban, there's a lot less to do in Durban versus Cape Town. Oh my gosh, there's so much more to do in Cape Town. Believe it or not, when I first arrived to Johannesburg, I was not a fan of Johannesburg. I just had this... Dude, honestly, when I first arrived to Johannesburg, a lot of things were freaking me out. The flight was scary. Like, it was just bumpy and turbulence, and I was just holding my seat for, you know, dear life. And then the Uber driver, like, you know, scared the heck out of me, like, driving me through this neighborhood, saying, oh yeah, this is the worst neighborhood in Joburg. And then, you know, checking into the hostel, and I just, like, at first it was just a bunch of, like, snobby people, and I was just kind of just thinking about my day and just... Yeah. So, you know, first arriving to Joburg, I wasn't that big of a fan, but, you know, I don't know, things have changed. Things have changed. Like, I'm in Joburg now, and things have definitely changed. I feel very different. Maybe it's just because I'm back in the same spot, and yeah, I feel much different about Joburg now. Yeah, but that's definitely Joburg. Oh man, Swaziland. Oh my gosh, Swaziland was so freaking nice. That's another place I really like, but actually that's not in South Africa. I guess it's kind of in South Africa, but it's not a part of South Africa. You guys get what I'm saying. And I guess this would not be a Q&A if I did not answer, you know, this famous question that I see all the time. Jermaine, how do you afford to travel? Easy. I just go back to the US. I just work like crazy for maybe a month or a month and a half. Literally work 60 hours a week, 50 hours, 70 hours a week, take all the money, do things like, you know, invest in 401k, pay taxes, save to my big travel fund, and also, more importantly, buy flights and buy tickets. And then when I'm out traveling, one very, very interesting thing that I think a lot of people don't think about is I don't pay rent, and I also don't pay a car payment. And when I'm back in the US, I typically just rent a car, and I typically stay in an Airbnb. So this way, when I'm traveling, I'm not, you know, backpacking in some random country and I'm thinking, oh, it's the first of the month, I gotta pay rent, oh, I gotta pay the car insurance, oh, I gotta pay this, oh, I gotta pay this. I'm just not thinking about any of those things. So that's one way that I'm able to travel quite a bit, is I really don't have a lot of bills, and I don't have a lot of things literally taking money out of my pocket every month. I've really limited my liabilities to a T, and I'm really grateful that I did that, because now I'm able to travel like constantly. I'm able to travel quite a bit. And anyway, guys, I thought I would make a Q&A video. It's been some time since I made a Q&A video. I like making Q&A videos. There's a different style of video, and today I didn't exactly do much because the weather was not so great. Today was like windy and rainy, and well, there's no rain now, but it was definitely rain earlier. But anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out, yo.